2020. Baby, don't leave me now. That's what I'm talking about. We coming back live here in the Groove Studio 2020. We want to thank all our listening audience back for joining us for another great year here. I'm your host, C-Mos, back in the groove seat. That's right. Bringing you the magic of the music and the music of the magic as we do every Monday night. This is because it's where the legends live, here on the UBN Go channel .1. That's right, the UBN Go network. Thank you so much for welcoming us back for 2020. We again, our listening audience all over the world. Go ahead, DJ Reg, I hear you. Don't leave me. That's what they were saying when we were gone. Don't leave me. So we're back. We're back, and we're so happy to be back with our listening audience. And we got a treat for you tonight, as we do here every Monday. So tune in on the UBN Go channel .1. Also, we're on Facebook Live now too, right?
Always, yeah.
Okay, and YouTube,
iHeartRadio, Spotify.
That's right, and Apple Music also.
Apple Podcasts, that's right.
So we got a great show for you tonight. We got some ticket giveaways, and we got just some wonderful, legendary guests here in the studios tonight. But we are back in the Groove Studios live and living color. As I say, I can't do this without my great cast and crew. Starting off with the world famous DJ Rez, the video mix doctor. Legendary. What's going on, man?
Happy Monday, everyone. I'm mixing in whatever I'm doing.
Hey, man, congratulations. This Saturday you'll be getting honored. Am I correct?
Absolutely, man. It's a great thing. You know, somebody recognized.
As they should, man.
It's a long time coming, but I really appreciate everybody. And got me in this, thanks to Alonzo.
Okay. All right, man.
So on board as the Mobile DJ of the Year.
Mobile DJ of the Year, only here on We Love Rare Groove. We got the Mobile DJ of the Year, so we look forward to having your award and pictures from it next week.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're going to enjoy it and party hard. It's this Saturday, right?
This Saturday, and I'll be dressed.
Okay.
I'm going to put on some clothes.
Are we coming as your guests, as they do? Like you
breaking in the back door.
Right. You can get with us offline about
Yes, sir.
it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And then we got to welcome, coming 2020, we knew he was coming back with us, the consultant, the book. You got to know your soul, right?
Know it.
You got to know it. Welcome back, Robert Labadette.
We got real royalty in the house. We got real royalty.
We kicking it off tonight? Kicking it off? Okay.
We got the decade right.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm pretty excited about it. And
All right.
also, I'm the OG of the group. And I do remember when the Elgins came out with Darling, Darling.
Okay.
Lord, what woman
He's so
were
happy.
you swooning then?
He's
Lord
so
have
happy
mercy.
tonight that he's got a song that he knew
I
about
mean-
that he was hooping with MLK when they was hooping together.
Stop it.
Listen, Motown, I think it was 60 years yesterday they were started.
Okay.
And I remember them all. So I'm not going to go there right now. But
I told you he was hooping with MLK. Don't be mad. That's a great person to hoop with. I was supposed to be hooping with Obama.
Hey,
my
I said suppose.
You way older than Obama. Okay.
You trying to say you old, man?
There you go.
Hey, we're gonna, as we continue here, we can't do it without our beautiful, lovely, and talented co-host to put all this together. She's the glue, and the glue for 2020, Miss Shantini Iree.
Hey.
Your chair is a little higher than mine.
Oh, is it? Well, I'm
Right.
a little shorter than you,
No, but I don't.
so we can look level.
I don't. Okay,
Okay.
so we're gonna be looking level in 2020. Is this how it's
Yes.
gonna be?
Yeah.
Is this how it's gonna
Yes.
be? Okay. And how's everything with you? Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone.
It's wonderful.
In the
I'm
studio.
so excited for tonight. I am uber excited. I'm uber excited.
Uber?
I mean, over the moon excited.
Oh, I was like,
Yeah.
Uber. Is that a new one I missed out
Like,
on?
Uber,
I just
like
found
Uber
out.
means big, like above.
Like you lit.
know? Yeah.
Like we lit tonight. I just
Yeah,
found that out.
I guess,
we lit tonight.
I just learned that too. So
Right.
yeah,
So
we lit. I guess
we lit tonight,
That's
pretty
what the young
talented.
folks say now. We lit.
Hey, we got to go ahead and give some love. Coming back with us, joining us is Beverly Boy Production. The
What?
go-to
Beverly
guy.
Boy.
They're back?
The go-to guys for all your video production needs. I'm still waiting for them to come down with an app, but give them a call at 1-800-385-1243. And also we have Drove Stogies. That's right, for the good life. Join Drove Stogies for celebration.
You have yet to take me up there. You don't want me to be great. You don't want me to find my husband. You want me to be an old spinster.
It must be a reason for all that.
It must be.
We're going up there next Sunday to watch
Drove
some football.
Stogies? Okay.
Okay, next Sunday. And then we're going to go up there and watch. And then also we got coming up for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
The Michael Henderson Celebration of Love concert. Get your tickets tonight.
You are my starship.
At the concert. Valentine's Day Love. Right?
Literally. Them starships.
And we're going to be having a drawing for hotel tickets, dinner,
okay.
and limousine ride by one of our newly sponsors that's coming on, Satin Touch. Satin Touch Productions Transportation.
Lovely.
Big Jimmy. So we're going to be doing that. So we look forward to getting that out there.
Who's Satin Touch?
Excuse me?
Who's Satin Touch?
Satin Touch
Is the name of the company.
is the name of the company.
Okay.
Wow. Wow. And then also Sweet Life that just did a great, where's a magazine cover? There's been an article, so-called live day. Somebody took the magazine, but Sweet Life, the tickets, like, they're going to be part of our Wednesday that's coming up at Harold and Bell's at the Pico Lounge, and we'll talk more about that on this Wednesday. But
inviting everybody, come on out.
Come on out. More information, but as further ado, we're so happy to welcome back here for the second time in the Groove Studio.
Legendary.
Legendary. The only songwriters with 13 #1 hits in a row. They had 10 of the hits in a row that belong to the Supremes. These are the two gentlemen that gave us the songs Reach Out, I'll Be There, Stop in the Name of Love, Come See About Me, I Hear a Symphony. The two that held the magic in their very fingertips. 70 of their songs they wrote reached Billboard Top 40s. 15 of those reached #1 on the Billboard's Hot 100 charts. No other songwriting team, I'm telling you, no other or individuals has come close to equaling along surpassing this record. They have been inducted into both the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Now, they were the tunesmiths for the legendary Motown record label. And for their own company, they had Invictus Records and Hot Wax Records. Now the legendary composers are ready to reveal their inspiration and the stories behind the chart-topping hits, providing millions of fans with their first couple of a complete history of their songwriting process and detail the real-life experience that led them to write each of the most famous tunes. They also will reveal tonight their creative and intimate relationships with Motown's biggest stars and their debut autobiography, Come Get These Memories, the autobiographical account of the life and times of 2/3 of the biggest and most successful songwriters of all time. And these two giants will discuss the birth of Hitsville, USA, and coming together, the iconic trio we have known as Holland-Dozier-Holland, and their personal struggles to find when being a part of something so legendary and so great. This is a true account and pioneers that are American popular music and the music that baby boomers' memories are made of. Welcome to the great. Let's give a great applause, legendary Mr. Edward and Brian Holland of Holland-Dozier-Holland.
Oh, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
I wonder, look at they like, who they talking about?
2 out of 3 ain't bad. That's right.
I'm finished. That's all I got to say tonight. What's going on, gentlemen?
Oh, you.
What up?
You are. Listen, I'm so happy to be here with you, man. And you make everything sound so exciting. Wow, Jesus.
It is exciting, man.
Yes, it is.
This young
Yes,
lady
it
here,
is.
I've been knowing since she was a little girl. I mean, Jesus. I mean, look at her now.
A little butter. Right. And I ain't talking about the Reese cups either.
Well, tell all.
Oh, no. That's what we're going to tell all tonight. Come get these memories.
Come get them.
Genius. They put the genius on here. Thank you, Miss Shirley, for making this happen, too. The genius, incomparable songwriters, man. We've been waiting on this, man.
Oh, yeah.
The last time y'all were on, it was like, I don't know about no book. I don't know if we're going to do no book. Remember that? I don't know if we're going to do no book. And Robert of a sudden they snuck one out on you.
Yeah, without your help, Robert. They didn't even call you.
Pages. Got about 364 pages.
They made about 500 hits without my help.
Yeah, man, they could have let you do the forward, right? At least do the forward,
Right.
It might be the backwards.
On the backwards.
So tell us, man, we got all these chapters to talk about tonight, along with sharing the music with our listening audience all over the globe, man. You know, to start off with kidnapping people and stuff like that. You know, what made you first decide to write this autobiography, guys?
Yeah.
Gentlemen?
He said Edward.
Right.
Right.
Well, he's
Sometimes
he's my older brother. I'm the younger brother.
I know him as E Daddy.
Oh my God.
You daddy.
Well, let me see. First of all, I remember when I was in Detroit years ago, a minister told me, he said, Eddie, have you written a book yet? I said, no. He said, well, why not? I said, well, I don't know if I was really interested in doing a book. He said, I'll tell you something. If you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it.
Absolutely.
Right.
He said, and it's not going to be what you're going to want, and it's not going to be truthful.
Yep.
And then after that part, Shirley Washington stayed close to Brian and I, and she kept on us about doing this book. And it was very, very difficult, you know, especially for me. Yeah, maybe for Brian too. But it was very, very hard. I mean, going back in your mind and going back remembering things that wasn't always so pleasant, and then a lot of things were pleasant, but it was just so much work involved and so much. I mean, you know, you got where you didn't want to do it. You know what I mean? So we would go and I would write a little bit and deal with a little bit and discuss a little bit until over a long period of time. We found out the book is, you know, between Brian, what he was doing, you know, it just came about. You know, we did invite Lamont, but Lamont said, well, I don't know. He said, guys, I'm working on my own book.
Oh, really?
He went solo.
Did his book come out yet?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, his book came out.
He pulled a David Ruffin on him.
Yeah.
So I said, fine, we'll continue what we were doing, you know, and you know, do the book. But, you know, I tell you, looking back on it, this whole book thing was really, really very trying, very, very difficult, and it caused hardships with a lot of relations, you know, personal relations, you know, and because, you know, when you start fooling around, coming up with memories and people pushing you to do this, meaning like the Shirley Washington, and then, you know, you sort of wears you down and you lose your temper. You're tired of listening. You're tired of writing. You don't want to think on it anymore. You know, hey, it was a problem for me. But anyway, I'm very, very happy it got done. I really am, you know. And to be perfectly honest with you, I have not really read this book. When I say I have not read it, I read it while I was doing it. But you know, the omnibus gave us like 5 or 6 days to proofread it. I didn't have the strength to do it, you know, and I have not proofread it, you know, yet, you know. And a couple of people asked me, said, "Well, why don't you read it? Why don't you read it?" I say, "I can't. At some point in time, a year from now, 2 years from now, maybe 5 years from now." Then I'll sit down and read it. But
so you don't know what's in here?
I know what's in here from what I've been working on.
Right.
But you don't know some things that have been added.
Well, I don't know what's been added other than what I did.
Well, I seen
what I said. Now my brother, I don't know all of his story.
But somebody had like some menage a trois stuff that you didn't know that was in there?
I don't know nothing about that.
He making that up. Lord have mercy.
I read that in chapter 13.
Down below.
Now, what would you say, Brian, was the hardest memories to recount and to write about? And how did you decide which things you were going to talk about and what you were going to leave to history and not talk about?
There are several things I don't want to talk about, and not now either. No. But you know what I mean? Like he was saying, some things is just hard to talk about, and the memories of, years going by, it's kind of, it makes me kind of, I don't know, feel funny
Right.
about it. You know what I mean? I just don't like talking about them old things. Although we did have to put a few things in there, but such as Dinah Ross for one, and I never like to talk about that. But it happened. You know, we had a relationship for a while. And, who said,
The one who hasn't read it yet. 'Cause I didn't give away no
But
secrets.
see, guys, again, whatever his relationship was, I really know anything about that.
You was living your own. No, he had his own life.
I really
That's right.
didn't.
That's right.
And so when I was reading certain excerpts, the guy said, "Well, did you know your brother and their relationships?" I said, "What?" And then,
So you was like me just now, huh?
and,
Really?
it got kind of involved, you know. It's
Just want to make you go,
yeah. It got sticky. It got
Stay.
But
I remember little things.
But no matter what's in the book, you guys are just legendary. You know,
Thank you,
to
I
put this
appreciate
together to make people's lives. You know, music is a
Appreciate
part of
that.
people's lives, you
That's
know,
true, that's
and what they remember and where they feel.
But
Because it's always on how you make people feel to
And
make
I
it
do
last.
recall several incidents that people will come up to me. They'll say, "Are you Brian Holland from Holland-Dozier-Holland?" I said, "Yeah." I took out a credit card, a gas credit card. The guy said, "Brian, you ain't the Brian Holland that did those songs or whatnot, you and your brother in Lamont." I said, yeah. He said, "Well, I don't want to talk about it." I just said, "Man, I don't want to talk about this anyway." But anyway, I took my credit card back and said, "I don't want your gas." No.
Forget it.
I go about my business. But in spite of all that, we had a really great time. Right. You know, when we finally did kind of reflect and dealing with this music thing, you know, because Motown, see, most people, they think that Motown was almost like something that was already there. You know, just like a big studio, a big company, you just walked into. It was nothing like that. I mean, we were, it took time.
What was it, 800 square feet house?
Well, that too, but even before the house.
Before it was
Before the
Brian
house.
and I were involved with Barry Gordy and all the productions and doing the songs and that long before the name Motown even came up.
Right.
You know.
The interesting thing about Motown is that Motown was a state of mind first. They had a business thing first. So even before they got to West Grand Boulevard, they had the mindset and the business. So when they got there, it was just the next step. You know, they had everything in that same small house. The accounting, the staffing, the A&R, they all were in one house. And they ran this big production there.
That's true. Thank
It's
you.
amazing. Now, who were the Rayburn voices?
Well, Rayburn Voices was Barry's second wife, Raynoma Singleton. And we used her name and Barry's name. Ray for Raynoma, and then Barry for Barry. So it became Rayburn Voices. And I was in the Rayburn Voices. Robert Bateman, Sonny Saunders, and a Gwen Murray, yeah. And then Sonny Saunders came along later, joined us too. But very, very interesting though. That was a very interesting time, you know what I mean?
And so they were background singers?
Yeah, we were background, Rayburn Voices background singers, yeah.
So I'm so glad that the one point you mentioned, if you don't tell your story, someone else will tell your story,
right.
and it will not be complete, okay? Because they meet you an hour or two, do a little background work, and start writing.
Because, for an example, our partner Lamont Dozier, when he came out with his book, I said, "Well, Lamont, that didn't happen that way."
Not that way.
I read it a little bit more.
yeah.
I said, "It didn't. Wait a minute, that didn't happen that way either." I said, "Well, you know,
I
I
embellished.
got tired of hearing the same thing
old
over and
story,
over
right.
again,
So
I would
he- so-
embellish it.
You're right.
I said,
Hey,
okay.
Gentlemen, can we got a caller on hold? You mind
Already
taking a caller?
somebody calling.
Want to take caller?
No problem.
Okay, caller. Welcome to We Love Red Grooves. Who do we have on the line?
Hey, this is hold on.
Is that Beth?
This is, yes, I'm here.
Beth Griffin
Hello?
Manley from Detroit, Michigan. How are you?
I'm good. I'm from Detroit.
Oh, good. We are too.
But wait a minute. I am
Wait till you find out who she
Edward's
is.
worst nightmare in the studio and Brian's love. Try to figure that one out.
Brian Luvv. What?
Uh-oh. Brian's love and
Thomas
Edward's
is in
worst
the dark.
nightmare in the studio.
Say what? Wait a minute. Say
This
it
is V.
Oh,
V! Oh, that's who it is. V. Hi, V.
You didn't. First,
Hey guys, you know I love these guys.
I know
I
you do, bro. V, let's be honest with it now. I might have.
You know I love you and Edward so
I know,
much.
but V, let me say this. Let me be honest about this. I looked at you, winked at you, and you said, "Well, I like your brother." I like Edward. I said, "Okay, that's
Well,
good."
I had to keep the love between the two of y'all so one of you wouldn't get jealous.
See? All right, V.
Now.
All right, V.
Hello now.
All right,
Hello
V.
now, but especially now. But I miss you guys. I just had to call in because when I found out you were on, I'm like, I cannot let this night go by without calling.
We
We're
love
glad
you,
did. Well,
V.
V, V.
And wait a minute.
Okay.
The guys at Red Groove, oh my grooves, oh my God, I love y'all so much too.
We love
Thank
you
you for the
too.
birthday wishes.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Hey,
You're
V,
welcome.
why haven't I been your bodyguard for some of these events?
Oh, my
Yo,
God.
V, I haven't got no calls yet. What's up, V?
Haven't you heard? Jason Momoa is my bodyguard.
Who?
Oh, Jason Momoa. Oh, yeah, you kind of
Aquaman,
lost that.
baby.
I ain't
Any
worried about
married?
She don't
but
care.
Yeah, but we just friends.
he need a bodyguard.
Yeah, well, yeah, he do need a bodyguard. Yeah.
So
For those
if you don't
listening,
So
want
you have the most famous. You have the most famous producers and songwriters right now, right in that house.
Oh, we
right there,
know.
You know, right?
Absolutely.
Oh my God. Let me tell you.
Hey, V.
And Edward, I would be Edward's nightmare in the studio. He would be like, "Oh my God." Until he found, oh damn, she can sing. She can sing. Okay.
For those who don't know, it's V. McDonald from Undisputed Truth online.
V, how you been? It's Reggie.
I'm
DJ
great.
Reg.
Hey Reggie, I'm fantastic.
There
I'm
you
really
go.
Fantastic.
Thank you so
Yes.
much for calling
Great.
in. We love you.
as we continue.
My pleasure. I love you guys. Bye, Edward. Bye, Brian. Hey, don't
We'll
be a
see you
stranger.
soon.
We love you too. Glad you called in.
So,
All right, baby. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
so
Okay.
give us a call at 323
Come on, V, in there dropping that
524
line.
25.
Hey, we got another one?
Here on We Love
that
Red
it?
Groups. As we continue the show, it's time to get into some music.
Yeah.
You know, so we
Some of this stuff they said they don't know what we're talking about on here. We're going to have to.
streaming live
Figure
here
out
on
what this
Facebook
is.
Live and ubngo.com channel 1. So if you can't get it on Facebook Live, go to ubngo.com channel 1. DJ Reg, what you got for me, man? We taking them way back.
Let's
right
take 'em way
now.
back right
Let's
here,
take
just
'em
like
way
this.
Back.
Life is so lonely without you. Life is so lonely without you. Since you left these arms of mine, I've been alone, crying, wondering why you left me behind. Darling, baby, can't carry on
shake it, or just can't take it, get back. We can shake it, we can take it. Everybody, come on, get in the act, yeah, yeah. All right, that's it. Go ahead. Party time. It's party time. We're gonna rock till the end. Come on, everybody join in. One lump of sugar don't compare to the sweetness of my baby's love and care. She's handed to me. Ooh, sweet handed to me. She's sugar, she's spice, everything that's nice. Ooh, sweet handed to me. She's got a lot of loving just for me. Honey dripping kisses that sling like a bee. Oh, candy to me. My baby, sweet candy to me. Sweeter than anything I know. You can believe I'll never let her go. Oh, she's sweet candy. Sugar boy, here I come. Sugar boy, here I come. Ooh, baby, hand it to me. She's sugar, she's spice, everything that's nice. Ooh, sweet, hand it to me. Wait, hold on, darling, won't you? Wait, hold on. Stop right there. Let me picture you in my mind for the last time. Soon you'll be walking out of my life, but let me gaze upon you for the last time. I need something to hold on to. I need something just to carry me through. All I need is one last look before you go, so I'll have memories wherever I go. One last look before you go, so in my heart you live on and on. One last look before we part, so memories of you will fill my heart. Let me remember my whole life through. All my happiest days I spent with you. I remember your eyes, that was my treasure. Your tender lips, oh, they brought me pleasure. Loving you, I don't regret all these things. I don't want to forget. Now being without you will be hard to do. But darling, I want what's best for you. I'd rather see you happy with someone new, than to know I'd ever brought sorrow to you. So as you leave, if you see tears in my eyes, just keep on walking. Girl, don't you worry. Cause any tears you see, gonna be tears of joy. The joy of loving you and knowing you love me. It gives me enough happiness. Just tell him your baby's back and you've had a nice time. I know you were lonely. I know you were so blue.
Tell him your baby's back and you've had a nice time. Gonna build that little home.
My name's Dave Patterson. I'm a Seattle area videographer. I've been working with Billboard Productions for over 2 years, and I can say they are great to work with. They've always provided me with the information I need so that when I show up on set, I can shoot exactly what's necessary to tell the story the client is trying to tell. Call sheets that include the who, what, why, where, when of the video shoot, production notes, gear requirements, crew requirements, load-in time, all that. Makes my job a lot easier, and ultimately it produces the results that the client's going to be happy with. This is what a professional company like Beverly Boy Productions does, and also it's one of the reasons why I really enjoy working with them. It's a bit of a family vibe. They're very low-key, low pressure, but they're very professional at the same time, and they get the results, and that's ultimately what matters most. I'm proud to be a shooter for Beverly Boy Productions, and if you're looking for a company to produce your next video production, by all means, give them a call. They can handle any sort of scale project, from a single-person interview to a large production with multiple cameras and large crews. You won't be disappointed with the results. Give them a call.
On this second year anniversary of Job Sogies, we have the red carpeting. So when you pull up, you see the red carpeting. And then as you continue through into the cigar lounge, by the way, we have a beautiful humidor, which is where I'm at. And then as you go into the lounge, the ambience is beautiful, the artwork, you sit down, you relax, we have TVs, we have music. And then where it's really happening is outdoors in the back, where we do have live entertainment, we have a bar, and we have great food by Nays Tacos. So hopefully you come out and enjoy.
Because of the fact that we're a membership-based organization, our members create the fabric of what the culture is here. And we really feel that we have a camaraderie here that revolves around the fellowship, around the leaf, the cigar.
Welcome back to the studio. We have the legendary Holland brothers, Eddie and Brian, 2/3 of Holland-Dozier-Holland. You got a great book out right now. Come get these memories. The Genius of Holland-Dozier-Holland, the Motown Incomparable Songwriters. Welcome to the Groove Studios again, man. We sharing this. We don't want to tell all because we want them to get the book, right? They can get the book right now. Where can they get the book, Shirley?
Barnes and Nobles. Amazon, right?
Amazon,
Barnes and Nobles, any major bookstores.
Right.
Yes, you can have it sent overnight.
You can?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I was trying to get it because
will there be an audio?
Send it to me overnight.
Also, will there be an audio version of this book? Oh, wonderful.
Yes. So for those audio people who want to listen to it in the car, there will be an audio version.
You already got somebody to do the read?
Definitely not you.
Definitely not you.
Definitely not you. I want it to be pronounced correctly.
Did I do all right tonight, Shirley? Okay. See, now.
Now you haven't been telling nothing.
Shirley's just nice. That's who she is.
Very nice.
All right. So you guys like coming to Rare Grooves because you hear Rare Grooves music. And we just had some songs on that you asking us, did we write it? Yes, you did. You had some involvement in there from the Elgins. You remember the Elgins? So you remember Darling Baby.
You know,
okay.
I was thinking about that when you were playing that Darling Baby song, and that was a sample, an example of maybe several times in my life doing songs that we didn't really think that much of. Mm-hmm. And the only reason why I did Darling Baby is because the guy that was the lead of the group, he was driving for my mother. And also Brian and I.
Okay.
And he was on us every day, man. When you gonna do my group? When you gonna do a hit on me? When you gonna do it? I mean, he was up after weeks and months passed, and I said, listen. I said, Johnny, I tell you what I'm gonna do. I said, I'm gonna find something to to do on you. I said, I don't know how strong it's going to be or how good it is. I said, and what I did, to be honest, I just picked something that was a B-side of something we were cutting when we went into the studio and just wrote that.
Okay.
For his group, that and the record called Heaven Must Have Sent You, okay? And I was surprised, beyond all surprises, when those records were very, very strong and very popular overseas. They travel overseas many, many, many times. And I just couldn't get over it. I said, who would have thought that those songs would have been anything? Because I never thought nothing of them at all.
So what was the first song that charted anywhere that the two of you were involved in?
I think the Elgins, wasn't it?
No.
Which one?
The Elgins came after.
Y'all cut me off real quick with that. Y'all like, no, that ain't it.
The first song that they did that was a hit was for the Supremes was Love Light, right? No? Yes?
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Right.
But the first song, Love Light.
Right.
That was the one that first did something because they had so many.
Absolutely.
They had so many flops after a while, and they asked him, do you think we're gonna make it? And he said, yeah, we're gonna make it. And then they wrote Love Light,
which I thought the title was awful long.
Yeah.
And I had a real problem with that title. People said, well, so what? I said, man, nobody want no long titles like that. I said, Jesus, man.
So what was the first song? Did you remember?
That was it.
Charted.
Charted?
The very first song you ever wrote that charted for anybody.
Yeah, the two, yeah.
Oh, me.
Well, the first record was when Brian wrote by himself, Please Mr. Postman.
Yeah.
Right, with Fred Gorman. With Freddie Gorman, right.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first record.
No, he meant
the three of us.
Yeah, the Holland-Dozier-Holland.
Oh,
yeah.
I think it was Come and Get These Memories.
Yeah, Come and Get These Memories, yeah.
And, then the next, what was the next? Was it with this Love Life thing or whatever?
Well, that was.
Well, when you do so much.
I know.
Yeah, they over
They
there.
gotta
We did this one, yeah. I think we did this maybe 5 minutes before we did that
Then
one.
we did some, the Marvelous, I mean, not the Marvelous.
The
Vandellas Heat Wave.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Now we got really excited
About the heat wave.
It's just like the old folks said, we start smelling ourselves.
So the heat wave, was that because it was hot outside and y'all had the fire hydrant going?
That's right.
Well, no, the cool thing was that Heat Wave, if I remember correctly, was a warm-up song that Lamont used to use when he would warm up on the piano. And they heard it and they said, oh, that sounds, and they, because that's how great they are. They just hear something and then they just write a song. Like, who does that? Now, Eddie, I remember in the book you talking about how he spent 2 years where he didn't go back to Motown, and he, as an artist, he left and he came back as a songwriter. He spent 2 years working on his craft to be a lyricist. And he talked about how he spent a lot of time with ladies and he studied them to learn how they like to be spoken to, and that's how he wrote. So what was your technique for when you spent time with the women to pick up the lyrics that you did?
Well, first of all, I just felt that we were basically, they had more.
Tell us about your Mac game.
Yeah, please. Come on.
Be honest.
Take your time. Take your time.
No, it wasn't really not necessarily Mac game. But I learned something when I was in high school. Really, okay. I had a teacher that was really a typewriting teacher, okay? But he often would stop the typewriting classes. He would talk about females. And he would explain to us, he said, listen, he said, the best way to get women is to listen. He said, because women love it when men listen to them. They love it when they can express themselves and men listen. He said, because most men don't listen. Okay? He said, so when a woman finds a man that will listen to them, he said, that is very, very appealing to her.
I try.
Y'all hear that out there in the world?
No.
In Radio Land?
So that's what started it off.
What?
So in learning to write songs, I said the best thing to do, just talk to females, whatever they say.
Like Chris Rock said, when you listen.
Fortunately, most of them was talking to me at the time, and so I would listen to it and listen to it. Oh yeah,
there you go. That's right. Yeah.
Now, are they still coming to Detroit and looking for Eddie Holland, the women? Because I know for a long time they was knocking on that door, coming to Hitsville looking for you.
Yeah, that's a few. I mean, I keep friends. You know, when you know somebody, you're friends with them. They.
Legend has it they still knocking on the door at Hitsville looking for Edward Holland.
Now, it was something that I noticed, and I don't, if I overlooked it in the book, was any reference to being Detroit, the Motor City, and cars, and that connection with cars and Motown. And what I mean by that, how's the connection with cars? Come on now, you know, when we got that first record, did we go get a Cadillac? You know what I mean?
He's talking about.
Right.
Well, let me say that part. Now, everybody else, that's exactly what they did.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I was the only one who would not buy a Cadillac. My brother said, Edward, you just cheap. He said, you just don't want to spend the money. I said, no, Brian. I said, I saw this brand new Riviera. It just came out.
Oh, yeah, the Riviera.
I said, man, that's what I want.
There you go.
It was nice,
Riviera. He said, why don't you get a Cadillac? Because everybody had Cadillacs.
Riviera was nice, though.
And the Cadillacs was lined up all down Restaurant Boulevard. I said, Brian, he said, oh, I know what it is. You don't want to spend the money. He said, I tell you what, I'll give you that extra $1,500 where you can get a Cadillac. I said, Brian, I don't want a Cadillac. I want that Riviera, you know.
So.
But that was the very exciting time to me. First of all, I had just learned how to drive.
I
was like 22, 20.
Y'all was balling out of control.
That's a perfect car to have.
Hold
man.
on.
He's
He
protected.
said his brother gonna give him $1,500 just to help him get the
That's a lot of money back then.
That's like, yeah, hold on.
That's a whole lot of money back then, boy. Extra $1,500? That wasn't no play money back then. It's a lot of money.
I wanted that Riviera. I love that car.
Hey, that was a good choice, though.
Yeah, and it's smaller, too.
Then, you know what? And then after I got my Riviera, I noticed that Smokey Robinson bought one.
Then I got one
the Ranger, Paul Reiser. Paul Reiser got one. I said, but dang. And then the thing about it, theirs look better than mine.
Wow.
Now, did anybody have the Lincoln Town car with the gangster doors?
Suicide doors?
The suicide door.
Yeah. Who's in the Miracles? Bobby.
Bobby got one?
I love that car.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I love that car. The widow's doors.
Yeah, the
Right,
suicide doors, right.
I love that car. Okay.
I think Satin Touch Transportation.
Especially the one with the convertible. With
Can
the
I say
doors.
Satin Touch Transportation? Right.
Oh, the convertible with the suicide doors? Oh, yeah.
Convertible.
Oh, man.
Now,
I think
in
Satin,
the book, Eddie, you talk about how you knew early on that you were not going to work for General Motors or the post office, that you knew you were creative and you knew you had something different in life. When did you, Brian, realize that you weren't going to be a regular, everyday person and that music was going to be what you were going to do for a living, too?
Well, first of all, I don't know. I knew that my mother, I knew that we had to help my mother out. And I remember my mother told me there was an opening at Ford Motor Company. And I got dressed and went out to Ford Motor Company to work at Ford Motor Company. Luckily, when I got there, they had closed the doors because they said, we got all the people we need. So then I just went back into trying to write some songs and do something, get involved with music.
But see, now, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an accountant. Real early on.
Oh.
Okay? And I started thinking about it when I was about maybe 14, 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is because as a kid, I would watch the people in the neighborhood, you know, because this is what we consider at that time a middle class neighborhood.
Right.
Everybody owned their own house, everybody owned their own car, and my thing was I would watch these men come home just dragging their little tails behind them, tired from being at the factory. I was watching this day in and day out. I was just a kid, you know, teenager. And I watched these people then, and I noticed that on a Saturday, they would get on their porches with beer, this jumbo, what they call it, jumbos there, beer. And
32 ounce.
they would drink, the beer.
Mm-hmm.
Then Sunday, same thing. Monday, they're back to work again. I said, wait a minute. I said, I can't do that kind of work. I said, whatever they're doing, I cannot do that. Because they look too miserable and unhappy, you know.
Wow.
So I was going to school and thought about being an accountant, and that's what I went to school for, you know. But I was like, you know, I got out of high school. But I took it in high school, accounting. And then when I got out of high school, I went to night school for accounting. But it just so happens, accidentally, a friend of mine was going to be auditioned, okay? And I didn't want to go with him, okay? But, you know, it's a lot of details in it, but I didn't want to go with his, you know, his name was Ted Johnson. So he said, oh, Ed, I want you to go with me because I'm getting auditioned, you know, from Mr. Jones. You know, he discovered Willie John and blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, man, I'll go with you. So I end up going with him. And so Mr. Jones listened to him. He used to sing. And so Mr. Jones turned around at me. He said, well, let me hear you. And I wasn't there to sing. I wasn't even thinking about singing. And it sort of took me off guard, but I just spontaneously started singing. Singing some Jackie Wilson song. So he listened to me for about 16 bars. He said, okay. So I'm getting ready to walk away because, you know, when they stop you, you figure, hey.
That's it. I'm done.
You're done. So anyway, he said, take this contract and give it to your mother. And I felt badly because my friend.
That's why it goes. That's how it goes.
He was going there to get a contract, and he gave a contract to me. So unfortunately, he didn't speak to me all the way back on the bus.
Of course not.
He was very, very quiet. And I would say, man, I said, oh, okay. And I felt so bad about that. I said, well, okay, man. And the bus stop, you know, came for me to get off in Clemens and 14 miles, whatever. I said, okay, I'll see you later, man. Yeah.
Yeah. They won't talk to you at all.
Did you ever see him years later while you was in your Riviera rolling down the street? Did you ever see him?
Yeah, I saw him later. He came, you know, and I had bought a house there, and, you know,
he came back hanging, right.
You know, so he looked at me. He still was friends with me. Yeah. And somebody needs something happy. So I asked Ed to do anything for me. He never asked me to do anything. For some reason, he would never bother me.
Wow.
So let's go one more question, and then we're gonna go back into some music. And I think this question was mentioned kind of in the book about some of the biggest influence who were not big name artists, but family members who were some of the biggest musical influences in your family. To you guys, who would you say?
Because remember you mentioned in the book that when people ask you for musical influences, they expect you to say the Beatles or something, but those weren't your early influences. So who in your family were your early influences musically?
Well, it wasn't necessarily music though.
Just life influence.
It wasn't music directly. My uncle and my grandmother was the biggest influences. Okay. And my uncle was my teacher, and he was my guidance counselor. He was everything. And I remember as a kid, you know, 13, 14 years old, when I would wait for him, like especially a Friday night or Saturday morning, you know, I would wait for him to get ready to leave, and I would sit by the kitchen door waiting for him, and I would go with him. I said, well, can I go with you? Because I would ride with him, and I would learning. He was always talking to me about everything you can imagine, and I was learning a lot. You know, he would teach me about reading books and reading this book, learning this and learning that, and it would just stay on my, my head. So he was a great influence. And my grandmother, obviously, she was a heck of a disciplinarian. Right. So she was a strong influence with me. You know. And, my mother to some degree, but mostly because she would let me do pretty much what I wanted to. Right. And, but those two were the really great influences. Yeah. Plus, he would buy a lot of records. Every record.
Yeah, your Uncle James.
My Uncle James would have.
And that's what you were listening to.
That's what I was listening to.
And said, "This is what I'm."
And then
the
record might break or something.
And the thing about it, it wasn't blues records. It was more like Count Basie, Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, Ella Fitzgerald. This is what he would play, Sarah Vaughan all the time. So it caused our music and our ears to be towards more of a popish type of music.
Right.
You know, And then my grandmother, you had to go to church, so we had to go to church 4 or 5 times a week. So then I'm listening to the gospel. So between the gospel music and the secular music, this is where our heads were. Blues music, I grew up not liking because it didn't make sense to me. Because the people were moaning and groaning and whatever.
Right.
That had no interest to me. Matter of fact, I thought it didn't make sense to me.
And before we go on to the next, a thought just occurred to me when you said you were listening to the music that your parents were buying records. Imagine if you were born in maybe 1980, 1990, you listening to the music, and now you're listening to it and you creating just a sample instead of creating the whole song.
Right.
You know, the royalties are, because I mean the samples are getting them paid, but they still got to pay the songwriters.
Right.
And we're going to get into a segment like that later on in the show. But that just came across how it's changing now, because we don't have the same songwriters that we once did. Because they're just emulating and sampling. I mean, there is some songwriters out there, but it's not that true.
But I'm going to tell you something when you get a minute. If you want to talk about that point, I'm going to do it now.
We're going to come back to it.
Okay, I'll bring up
Hold that
something
thought.
very, very key.
Okay.
I'll bring that up.
Okay, we're going to do that
Come
when
and
we
get
come out.
these memories is the name of the book, guys. Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. Come and get these memories.
That's right. We got the legendary Holland Brothers, Holland-Dozier-Holland. So tonight, join us on ubngo.com, channel 1, and also Facebook Live as we get ready to go into another musical
Hey,
set.
Victor Orlando,
What you going to do, DJ Reg? We're going to get into the Supremes, and we're going to get into some of their songs, and we got some surprises for you. Just listen to this a little bit and let it jar your memory and see what we come back out with.
Coming home to meet my brother, gotta get to know each other. You miss a lot not knowing who he is. Hello, stranger, have a Coca-Cola? Forget the past. We're coming home together, coming home at last. There's a world of blue skies, there's a brand new day, waiting to hear us sing this song, waiting to hear us say, ooh, we now coming home to meet my brother, share a Coca-Cola with each other. Coming home to meet my brother, share a Coca-Cola with each other. You know, there's a world of blue skies, and there's a brand new day, waiting to hear us sing this song, waiting to hear us say, ooh, we now coming home to meet my brother, and share a Coca-Cola with each other. Coming home to meet my brother, share a Coca-Cola with each other. Coming home to meet my brother, share a Coca-Cola with each other. Love, you've gone from me and left behind so many memories. Here's your old friendship ring. I can't worry no more. Here's your old love letters. I can't read them friends calling, giving their advice. From the boy I love, I should break away, 'cause heartaches he'll bring one day. I listened once to my friend's advice, but it's not gonna happen twice. 'Cause all advice ever gotten me was many long and sleepless nights. But now he's back in my arms again, right by my side. I got him back in my arms again, so satisfied. I've been crying, boo-hoo, 'cause I'm lonely for you. Smiles have all turned to tears, but tears won't wash away the fear that you're never ever gonna return to ease the fire that within me burns. It keeps me crying, baby, for you. Keeps me sighing, baby, for you. So won't you hurry? Come on, boy, see about me. Come see about me. See about you, baby. Come see about me. I give it is empty without you, babe. My world is empty without you, babe. My world is empty without you, babe. And as I go my way alone, I find it hard for me to carry on. I need your strength, I need your tender touch. I need the love, my dear, I miss so much. My world is empty without you, babe. My world is empty without you, babe.
Now I wanna tell you of a great love. Oh, it will light up, it will surely light up darkened worlds, if you'll just believe. Stone love. Stone love. Oh yeah. A love for each other will bring fighting to an end. Forgiving one another time after time, doubt creeps in, but like the sun.
Excited when I first heard that you wanted to meet me. How could I refuse? The way you shake your hips, ooh, just drives me wild. I was leaving, but I can't leave right now.
At Hawthorne Auto Square, we are the bank, so anything's possible. You buy here, you pay here, so we can guarantee approval when other dealers can't. We give you 6 months to build your down payment, and we have over 500 gently used cars, trucks, and SUVs to choose from, most being 2016 and newer. And with our upgrade program, we can get you into a new car again and again.
At Hawthorne Auto Square, I'm not just a credit score to them. I'm a person who needs a car, and they're there to help.
I was a little scared I wasn't going to have enough for my down payment, and I thought I was going to have to get an old car, but I was actually able to get something that was a couple years old, and it was actually really nice. And I got a brand new car from Hawthorne Auto Square, and I couldn't be happier.
Now I know when my friends ask me where they should buy a car, I can tell them Hawthorne Auto Square, that's where.
You can hop online and get pre-approved at HawthorneAutoSquare.com, or you can call to chat with one of our friendly finance experts to hear more about how Hawthorne Auto Square truly is one of a kind and can get you behind the wheel of the car you've been searching for. How about you start your pre-approval right here on your phone? Just tap the button below.
Welcome back to We Love Rare Grooves. That's right. So coming up on February 14th, which is a Friday, is a Celebration of Love concert with Grammy-nominated R&B singer, songwriter, and bassist, Mr. Michael Henderson at the Miracle Theater. Get your tickets today at the miracleinglewood.com. Tickets are going fast. We will be running a promotion where you can have a hotel stay with Robert, dinner, and a limousine ride by Satin Touch Transportation.
Satin Touch? Oh
no, man, that's right. Making it happen. Making it happen here on We Love Rare Grooves. So the way to register is go online, subscribe to our YouTube page, subscribe to also our Facebook page, and we can enter you in, or join us a little bit more. We'll have you come up for this Wednesday coming up at Harold and Bell's Peacock Lounge. So as we continue here on We Love Rare Grooves with the legendary songwriters, that's right, they have composed over 400 songs, 130 of them scored on pop charts, 70 were top 10 hits, 40 reached number 1, and they are the National Academy of Songwriters bestowed upon them the most prolific composers its Lifetime Achievement Award.
Now,
how did y'all feel about, man, did y'all hear that voice? And I did that, we did that for you guys, the a cappella.
So you could hear how you arranged
the song.
Yeah.
What
Just
you
in
guys
case
think?
you forgot, you know. He didn't think nothing.
Well, the question I was thinking about is, when you guys redo a song, you know, Motown is, you know, famous for taking a song, and how do you move forward on that? Do you try to make it different, or do you try to just say it's a filler song and I'm not going to worry about it?
You said redo?
Yeah, so for example, like Heat Wave and Come and Get These Memories, I was thinking about Junior Walker. No, he did,
yeah. Well, first of all, Junior Walker's style is so different.
Yeah.
You have to write it around his style. As long as you orchestrate the song around his style, you're going to come up with something different. And he comes in there with that wild horn playing.
Oh, you got that right.
It's going to send it to another orbit anyway.
Who's the one we did on Junior Walker?
Road Runner.
I'm a road runner, baby. Can't stay in one place too long.
Right,
between that horn and that organ. that organ and that horn.
And I also think, excuse me, Operator is one of my favorite songs. It was on the B-side of a Mary Wells song, and then Brenda Holloway and several folks did Operator. And I always wondered about how you guys handle it. Say, you know, it's been done before.
Well, Operator, I don't remember.
We love having you guys come on to tell us what songs I don't remember.
They don't know.
I don't know that one.
Right.
Well, no, we're here for you to tell us.
Well, that's what there you go.
I don't remember Operator.
Yeah, Brenda Holloway, Mary Wells, and 2 or 3 others. Put him on the line and want him on the line. I want to talk to this long-lost lover of mine. I'm going to send it to you so you'll know.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Now, I do know that you all had a couple girlfriends that helped y'all write some of these songs, unbeknownst to themselves. Did they ever get any credit for any of these songs?
Well, first of all, I didn't have any girlfriends.
It's called revisionist history.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Now, if you mean
Eddie Mack,
if you mean that a girl is talking to me while I'm writing a song, and she may come up with a line like, "Well, you know, people have gone their whole life and never had the love that we have." Heck, she ain't helping me write it. Not really. She's just talking to me. I'm her inspiration.
That's why they call you Eddie Mack.
Yeah.
No, actually, he
So
was
I
King
said, well,
Diddy.
hold on there. I said, wait a minute. Hold on there. I'll call you back. That was the missing line. That was the missing line. I need that filler in that line in there.
I wonder, did she recognize it when she heard the song? She never called you up, Your Honor, you know.
Never did.
Oh, you talking about Bernadette?
Yeah, or any song, you know, y'all. It was a couple of songs that some women helped y'all, you know, and they were the inspiration. They didn't realize they would help them.
Well, wait a minute now. They're the inspiration for all the songs.
They're the reasons for all the songs.
I'll tell you that right now. I mean, stop in the name of love.
Right.
I mean, that was nothing but inspiration between my young marriage and divorce and meeting the love of my life and all that. All that was inspired. I was inspired by all of that. Now, Lamont, he came in with that title, Stop in the Name of Love. But coming up with the title is one thing. When I get the title, I'm going to write it the way I want to write it. I don't know nothing about his experience. Ever, So I write it from my experience because that's all I know.
There you go.
Now, you guys talk about also singles. How did you transition? Because you said all we did was singles. That was what we did, singles or 45s A and B. How did you Right. How did you transfer as a writer, or how did you move to albums where people wanted, 5 and 6, 7, 10 songs? How did you guys as writers adapt to that change in the music industry?
Well, first of all they really did was compile all the singles we did into an album. That's what they did. Okay. That, which was in a way is good, in another way is bad. But that's what they did.
So you never had to sit down and do a whole record or a whole album?
No. That would have been easier.
Oh, okay.
Doing all those single records, man, that was difficult. That is a job.
It's interesting. They talk about Mickey Stevenson wanting the same story he told us about how he wanted to be a singer.
Oh,
and Barry Gordy told him, your voice is for you.
Right.
And that's how you came to A&R, man.
Incidentally,
He tells the same
I
story.
need to say this. I want to say this about Mickey Stevenson. He's been inducted into the Writers Hall of Fame.
Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Wow.
That's just recently?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got to get him some love. Give him some love.
You got to get him to come. That's right.
Get him some love. I appreciate that, man. So, some of the... Go ahead. You run this show.
Oh, Mickey got a great book out, too.
Yeah, I thought we had a copy of it, Mickey's book.
Yeah. And he came in.
When he did the book. Yeah, I forgot the name of it. I think we have
But the most great, and he was so happy, he got it on his phone. They emailed him about being inducted to the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's like a gangster being made, ain't it?
You know Mickey, huh?
Yeah.
He said like a gangster being made.
He calls y'all up. I've been made.
He hit it around the head, too.
Now, Brian, what was the quality control room, and can you tell us what it was like to be in that room?
Well, yeah. Quality control dealt with records that might be released. So each week we had a quality control meeting. All the records is going to be released, and actually Barry was ahead of that, but he put me in charge a couple of times of that. But so we would vote, like everybody here. We would put the record on, and then we would vote to say, is it going to be a hit or not? You know what I mean? And one situation happened that was so funny. We just did this song, Reach Out, I'll Be There, on the Four Tops. And everybody, not everybody, most people loved that song, you know what I mean? Only person that didn't really like it was Smokey. He said, I don't understand that song. That song I don't like it. I don't particularly like it. But Barry said, no, it sounds different, so I'm going to put that record out. So that kind of thing, you know what I mean?
I'm so glad that y'all overruled Smokey. I love that song so much.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how did you all's writing change radio? How did you all, the radio music that was playing before you guys stuff hit, how do you feel that your writing and your influence changed radio?
Well, I can't really answer that, because my thing is that what changed is that when you put the record out and people start liking it, that's what you had to go on. How the girls or the people who buy the records, you know what I mean? That's basically what changed everything for us.
But I think it changed radio for the simple reason that the songs, I remember years ago I would tell Brian and Lamont, I said, you know what? I said, if we're not number one, somebody else is going to be number one anyway. I said, somebody's going to be number one, okay? So the key thing is, what is the most unique thing? And what I found out is that the songs that we were doing were unique in sound. So it influenced radio that influence other writers, that they start following that pattern, just like anything else, And so that was the biggest influence. Just like I can remember Lamont saying, he said, wow, he said, we know we're very successful, we're the strongest writers out there. I said, Lamont, I'm going to tell you something. There'll come a time in the near future we will not dominate this business. He said, what do you mean? I said, I don't mean that we won't be as good. I mean, other people will be better.
Right.
So it's going to catch up.
That's good,
it's the same way as that as when you look in terms of Tiger Woods. Golf is him being such a great golfer. It's pulled golf up to a whole nother level, and that's true in most things. Basketball, baseball, you.
Oh
name
yeah,
it.
they're gonna find out
It
one way or
always,
another.
You know what I mean? It's always that person that's
To the next level.
Right.
turns it to
They
the
take a
next
little bit
level.
from what you have and try to take it to another
That's
level.
what they do.
That's all they do. They listening.
So it's just
Always.
that-
That's what anything.
That's
Right,
a great.
correct.
That's a great segue.
Well, there was a good quote that they said in the book. I think it was Brian that said, when the Beatles beat them one year on a single, he said they didn't beat us because for any other reason than because we didn't do our best, and next time we will do our best. They didn't make an excuse for why the Beatles beat them. It was because they did, because we didn't do our best, and next time we will do better.
There you
So I
go.
thought that was a good attitude to have.
Hey, give us a call at 323-524-2599.
Join in the conversation.
Call in, win some tickets. Call in, talk to the Holland
Come
brothers.
and get these memories. You can pick this book up absolutely anywhere that books are sold. You can order and get overnight.
Anyway,
We know
go,
that's
you
what
can get it in
everybody does now.
Leimert Park bookstore. You can go there.
Any bookstore,
I'm
yeah.
trying to give some love to the
Oh,
neighborhood.
to the neighborhood, yes, the
just-
neighborhood,
Echelon,
Leimert Park.
Echelon.
Yes.
But I want an
Is that-
opportunity to explain something early on.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Because you got a fast moving show where you,
Mhm.
I don't know if whether you guys realize or not. This show is on and popping.
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, we lit.
And it moves fast. Years when we first started, before that was really Motown or whatever. One of the advantages we had, because I know you made an example with the rappers and the
Samples and right.
samples and this stuff. One of the great advantages Brian and I and everybody in that particular era had was this. All elementary schools taught music.
Right.
All high schools taught music.
That's correct.
All intermediate schools taught music.
Correct.
When I was 14 years old,
That's true.
I didn't get into music like that because to me, that kind of music was complicated. But my class and many
remember I had to
classes,
wrate notes.
They
Music
could
on the
write
right.
that music and play those instruments and read that. Brian
remember
went
that
to,
now
to
by you saying that.
orchestrations of Ford. I think was given orchestration. The symphonic. He had the symphony. He had never heard these kind of instruments before, and he never watched this stuff before. When he saw all of these instruments, the oboes, the strings, this was amazing to him. He had never seen anything that much. That left an impression on him, and it stayed with him all his life. To the point when he started listening to music based on what my uncle was playing all the time and what he was hearing, he started hearing strings. He started hearing these notes of music. Many times I would try to write the lyrics to a song, and he said, wait a minute, your lyrics in my way of my melody. I said, what do you mean? I said, you got to do. He said, no, man, take some of the words out. I said, he said, don't you hear my strings here? I said, hell no, I don't hear no strings. Well, don't you hear the horns coming in? I said, man, what are you talking about? I hear
Man, that
nothing.
is-
He
right.
could hear all that stuff. And the thing about it, Brian would go in the studio with a chord sheet. He would do all these arrangements out of his head. You
Right.
see? And the arranger, Paul Reiser, that was doing these strings, this guy was 18 years old, just coming out of high school.
Wow.
He was doing all these fantastic arrangements.
That is true.
But that's why when he came out with Reach Out, you hear that piccolo and you hear those horse trots. To
Right.
them, that sounded strange, but that would be something that somebody who knew music would hear. They would hear the piccolo, they would hear those horse trots, they would hear that bass line and be able to create
All in that little studio. They put
Yeah.
those strings and everything.
Right.
All in that little studio.
So I said a lot of that gave us a whole lot of foundation.
And
Foundation.
everybody had a group. You would, for your entertainment, you would get your little group together.
Right.
It sharpened our ears. Because back in those days, that talking about, what do you call it, mimicking, syncing, what is
Lip
it?
syncing.
Lip syncing, yeah.
Man, you better not do that stuff when you had your group. And let me tell you something. On the street corners where we had different groups battling with each other, if you could not have a good harmony, they would boo you right down the street.
Down the street.
Right. I told you.
That's exactly what they would do.
And sometimes the winos on the corner would be singing too, hitting harmony.
That's right.
Remember that? I ain't lying. See, one day they got on me about that one time.
Exactly
I told you
right.
winos can
These
sing on the
people
corner.
could hear that music and they loved it. You got to bring it right.
Clifton doesn't have the best memories about the band because they kicked him out the band and then they went on to win competitions after they kicked him out. So he doesn't have the best memories.
I was in an orchestra.
What I was going to say is that, going back to what Edward was saying, the one song that was like an orchestration and full of strings was I Hear Symphony.
Oh, yes.
Right.
And I remember when the London Philharmonic cut that. I could not believe the melodic and the strings and the horns. And I mean, that was the most unbelievable thing I ever heard in my life. I mean, oh, wow.
And it was your song, right.
It was my song. But not only that, let me say this. Before that, I was at a gym working out.
That's the noise you
That
make.
was
Okay.
then. I don't do too much working out. Now listen. I finished working out. I came, got in my car, and what was playing? I Hear Symphony. I said, man, for some reason, I really listened to the songs and the lyrics, how it build up, I hear, and man, and I love the way Edward wrote the lyrics.
I'm telling you.
And man, I cried. I'll be honest, I cried.
Right.
Because I'm pretty emotional, when it comes to that kind of stuff. And then I called her. I said, Edward, man, that was some great lyrics, man, that you wrote, man.
He became Sir Edward at that time. Sir Edward.
Not Sir Edward, King Edward.
King Edward.
That was a little bit. We went above that.
Meanwhile, when I hear their music, I say cha-ching. Every time I hear them songs, I say cha-ching.
We ain't even said
Muzak has took over all that stuff, man.
But I'm sure, gentlemen as yourself, y'all have received your receipts.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They have a song on KFC commercials, one of your songs, Sugar Pie Honey Bunch.
You heard that?
Oh, yeah. 'Cause every time I hear it, I say cha-ching.
It was on the game tonight.
Yeah.
it was.
On the game tonight.
Oh, you better go make a
Y'all
phone
better call
call.
somebody and say, run me my receipt.
Run me my money.
They playing.
Run me my money. They got a rap song out. Run me my money.
That's a good way to go into this segment right here.
Okay.
We're gonna have y'all a little fun here with some samples of the young artists.
Okay.
To these days. So
They
you're
gonna
gonna
be
start
calling
off
some
with
people. Shirley, get your pen out.
Take
You
Me
know
in
who
Your
to call.
Arms, and then we're gonna go.
Oh, yeah.
But now I love the song that I didn't know this is where he got it from, and I love this song by Outkast and Sleepy Brown. But go ahead, take me away. Give us a call 323-524-2599. Streaming live on Facebook Live, streaming on ubngo.com, channel 1. We're the #1 show on
Facebook Live
Broadcast Network.
They
Go.
listening.
So which one you want
honey.
first?
I want you to start off with "Take Me in Your Arms," and then we're gonna hit.
Four Tops.
No. The sample, "Take Me in Your Arms," and then no, "Don't Leave Me," and then do Sleepy Brown. Don't Leave Me. You're right. That's why you looked at me like that. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Oh, I'm just making
Don't
sure.
leave
What
me.
instrument did you play before they kicked you out?
Violin.
Violin. Oh,
that's good.
Hold on.
No,
Hold
not
on,
quite.
sir.
He didn't do well.
You know, I'm looking for different stuff. I'm like, I got so much music, man. I just got so much.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Just 1 second.
Y'all on air.
See?
We're gonna have to stream that out.
You guys look so cute on camera too.
So,
I thought I had it.
You thought what?
I thought I had it.
You don't have anything?
Oh wow!
I mean, start
moving
off
on
with
next.
Start
Next
off with
tune.
Dionne Warwick and Jay Dilla. No.
Hold on. I know I got it. Hold on a second.
as we do here on We Love Rare Grooves.
We always working things out, man. You know?
Follow us on iHeartRadio and Apple Music for the replay of this show, the audio replay of the show if you want to listen to it in your car. And we will have this show in its entirety on YouTube.
And get your tickets today to the Michael Henderson Valentine's Day show, Celebration of Love.
You Are My Starship.
Friday.
Y'all sure y'all didn't see no spaceships at Bella?
I did.
Nobody did?
Only Michael.
You know, we ask everybody from Detroit that they all say they never
ask
saw
them
them.
another question off of this.
They never saw them. No. Let's see, what else could be? Who is the reigning poker player today, and is Smokey Robinson still the worst?
He's still the worst.
Who's the number one? Who's the reigning champ? You guys don't play anymore?
I don't play no.
When you were playing, who was the best? Barry at the time?
No.
He took turns winning.
Yeah. Mickey Stevenson, he was good. You know what I mean?
That's why he got made, right?
Fuqua, he was good. You know.
That's why he got made. Mickey got made.
Big poker parties, though. I tell you.
And Smokey Robinson's still the worst. Poor thing.
Yeah, he could gamble.
Tell me this.
Barry told him, said, "Man, you just don't come back and gamble."
what was? I'm put it like this: the University of Motown. What are some of the best lessons you say could be learned from the University of Motown? What I mean by that is when the collaboration, everyone was in there and they're competing, they're talking, they're fellowshipping, they're at each other's throats, all that.
You said it all. We were very
competitive. See what made us what we are. Okay, let me put it this way, because I know where you're going with that.
Mm-hmm.
Is the competition. The competition was fierce. And that's when I learned at an early age, competition breeds the best. It makes you do your best. It keeps you reaching. Because if you don't do your best and keep reaching, you're not going to compete with the situation we had at Motown. You couldn't compete. It'll be like a Mack truck running, you standing there still like a deer in the headlights. You know, with that cliche, a deer in the headlight. That's what it would be like. You get right on.
They would.
The thing about it, what's the beauty of it, is that most people they look in terms of thinking that we entered Motown when the doors opened as a successful songwriters. No. We became successful. We became good. We recorded in many sessions before we were good. At least 2 or 3 years. Because I can remember the times when Lamont would complain, "Oh man, you think we're gonna ever get a hit record out of here?" Man, because look like Smokey getting them all. Because at one point, Smokey was king.
But then, like you said, somebody else comes up.
That's right.
He was writing such.
So who would we say is the first king? Was it Smokey? You know, getting all the accolades and everyone. Smokey was Smokey.
Absolutely.
And then after Smokey, who was the next? Was it the Supremes?
I think you were the next Eddie as far as lyrics. I think you were. Absolutely.
Well,
it seemed like you wrote them when you woke up in the morning.
That's kind of you to say so.
I mean, just from knowing
first
that.
Of all, that's kind of you to say so. But the fact of the matter, I always give Smokey the credit for being the best. Right. I still always felt he was the best. Really.
Another perspective. Love songs. It seems as though today that they don't talk about men's vulnerability and also just the issue of love. Because if I think about the songs of the 60s and 70s, it talked about men who felt as though they might cry, felt as though, let me run away before they don't even have a discussion now. It's nonstop, hit it, don't stop, quit it. And it's a different kind of love song. Talk to a little bit about it.
Because the guys have grown tougher. See, in Detroit, when we were coming, we were players. At least thought we were.
Let's go. Take me in your... Now, we're going to do this for you guys because I know you don't even remember songs that you wrote. So we want to let you know what the younger generation is kind of listening and pull this sample out from your song to make a hit song for them. Hey, it takes ingenuity. Because just because it's a sample, you got to be able to listen to a certain part, bring it in, and put it all together.
It takes a lot of skill.
Yeah, it does. So it takes what?
A lot of skill.
Yeah, it takes a lot. So you ready, DJ Reg?
You want Sleepy, right?
Well, it would be "Don't Leave Me." and then you'll hear the sample. Put down, don't leave me. What? As far as what?
Now, while he's doing that, Eddie, you mentioned that you found Ashford and Simpson in New York.
Right.
Tell us how did that happen?
Well, Jeffrey Bourne was at Motown.
The Ashford had that same hairdo, the conch in his hair.
Oh my
I'm just saying, that's my man.
I know, same basic hairstyle.
Yeah, Nick had that. Okay, when you met him, he had conch.
But Jeffrey was telling me about Ashford, because I told him I wanted to expand A&R, because at this time I'd taken over A&R.
Right.
I told him I wanted to expand, okay? And he's told me about Ashford. Okay, so I went there to visit Ashford, and I liked what I heard. And so I made arrangements for him to come back in Detroit. And when he came back, the first thing he ran into was Brian Holland on the piano. And I turned around, and I said, Jeffrey, where's Nick? He said, he left, man. I said, left where? He said he heard Brian on the piano. He said, never gets those songs released out of here. I said, man, that's not so. That's not so. He said, man, he's almost halfway to the airport now. I said, go get him and bring him back. And that's what he did, But the guy, he just had the talent, unique talent, great talent.
Oh yeah, he did, man.
And it seems you guys had an eye for spotting talent too.
Were they together then, Nick and?
I didn't know Valerie.
Oh, you didn't know Valerie? Okay.
But he knew Valerie. Nick did.
Right. Of course.
But he did. I didn't know.
Okay.
I hadn't met her.
Oh, you just brought him over?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And again, he had the long hair with
Oh
the
my
conch in it.
God.
That's all I wanted to know. That's my man, though.
Oh my God.
Vampire in Brooklyn. DJ Rez, take me away.
You ready?
Yeah.
We ready.
Check this out, man.
chicken or the egg? How about the MC that had just been led to a renegade teacher, preacher, then he got stomped? Cause I'm a feature straight from the Bronx Productions, better known as Boogie Down. If I was a king right now, I'd get crowned. The Knights is a teacher, not a prince or a rap lord. I even write my rhymes on a blackboard to get specific, to probably make you understand what makes the 808 plan. It's simple, I'm around it off like this. That's how many stupid MCs I've dissed. But if they commence to try me, I won't buy it. I look them up and down and I'll say, don't even try it. Cause I can go on and on without breathing. The DR, another form of BDP, eating MCs like chunky, moving real bluntly, shaking and baking MCs like a junkie, fiending, getting MCs like they was calling them John Doe, meaning having no name. I'm springing like a quarter, drinking like water, then below the belt with things you never thought of. I laid down the law that I am a slaughter. I roll like a tidal wave, so you order. Float like a sailboat, move like a speedboat in water. Now watch you soak into a rhyme of mine till you hit the bottom. It's heavy like an
Sometimes I feel like there's no use in trying. Why can't I face the fact we've lost what we'll never get back? I don't know where did we go wrong? I say I'm leaving, but my feelings are too strong. And baby, you know, I'm in love, baby, so in love with your darling. And I'll never be leaving, girl, I'm just make-believing. I'm in love, darling, so in love with you, baby. Sometimes I feel like there's no use in trying. Sometimes I feel like there's no use in trying.
Nem gondolok rá, mi lesz, próbálok élni a mának. Nem hajt a gyűlölet, azt meghagynám másnak. Miért adnám fel, ezt soha nem fogom talán. Ebben jól érzem magam, a momentán. Nem gondolok rá, mi lesz, próbálok élni a mának. Nem hajt a gyűlölet, azt meghagynám másnak. Miért adnám fel, ezt soha nem fogom talán. Ebben jól érzem magam. Egy és egy ugyanaz, igen, a mindennapi probléma. Elfogy a gondolat, mégis tengernyi költőkolónia szenved, hogy magára találjon. Képek hiánya, mit meglátni és megszerezni, kétes pedig a skála széles. Bevenném Tróját, ha nem lógna ki a lólá. Meg a végén csupán nyűgje vagyok, kedvem tengerének át. Csak lazán, ugye, a bolygó összes bűne fagyasztva, a célok kabátja a falomra akasztva. Kaján a vigyor mit törő, de effektus a fürdő. Ajándékként a világnak csak buborékot küldök. Gitártonokkal jelzem mára, ennyi voltam, az sem mozgat, hogyan temetsz engem el, élve vagy voltam.
Na akkor jó van, akár a rintintin rádugrik, majd szalad. Egy kalap alatt a crew a hősök alatt.
Keep that going. So
he said D-Nice owed him some money. That's what
D-Nice.
he said. Crumbs
So
off the table.
I'm sure y'all wasn't aware of how the samples of what they were doing.
No, absolutely not.
And that's why, we did our homework.
Yeah, you sure did. Wow.
They even used the title on one of their records.
Oh, yeah? Wow.
Crumbs off the table.
Oh, wow, you kidding?
Yeah.
Wow.
Y'all can go back and look at the show. We're going to have it all on there for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Be like, Shirley, watch the show and pick that part where they
They said they were from Budapest.
Budapest?
Oh, they from Budapest. That song made all the way to Budapest.
Budapest.
So what do y'all think about that? How do you think about your music influencing people that weren't even born when you were writing this
Well,
stuff?
you know, let me say, well, I don't know about that, but I do recall. If we can get paid for it, I'd be excited. But I do recall one song, to be honest with you, that I thought was a very strong song by English group.
Hold that thought. Can you hold that thought? Because we got our number one fan who's never called the show that's calling in right now.
What?
So she's never called in. She's never called in.
She got a voice?
Hi, yeah, it's me. How are you guys?
We're good,
We're good.
No, it's not Sherry. It's
Good.
not Sherry. He said
No.
I had to call. You know I'm from Flint, so I had to call and say hi and support you guys. You know, it is 2020.
Yeah, you decided to grace us with your voice. We didn't even know you. We thought you were a phantom person. She's just a fan of the show. She's one of our number one fans on the show.
And we love her.
And we love her very
Okay,
much.
and I'm one of their fans too.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, so pick up that
Okay.
book, Colleen.
The book is
I
good.
do have a story though.
Go ahead,
I
tell your
remember years ago, I was going to California, and you guys were on the plane. And what's his name? Ronnie Laws was on the plane too.
Oh, okay.
And he came in the aisle. He was talking to them, and a guy sitting next to me tapped Ronnie on the shoulder and asked him to get a pillow for him. And Ronnie turned and looked at me like, "Really?" But he did anyway. But just wanted to tell that little story. That's it.
A good one.
Thanks for calling in.
Thank you so
Colleen.
much for calling in.
We're going to see you on Wednesday?
Okay.
We're going to see you Wednesday?
I hope so. I hope so.
What do you mean you hope?
She on the other side of town. You know when they're over the hill, they don't travel down. They don't
early.
travel down
I'm
to
gonna
the
try.
hood.
I'm gonna try my best, guys.
If not, we'll catch you the following week. We're going to be there for the next 6 weeks.
At least.
Okay, great.
At least.
Okay, happy holidays.
Same
and
to you,
it's a
same
good,
to you.
good show.
She said happy
Okay.
holidays.
I thought
She's still in
Bye-bye.
2019.
She's 2020, baby.
It's 2020.
She said happy holidays.
I'll let you saying happy MLK weekend coming up.
Yeah, she's
So
one of
thank
our listeners who listens faithfully every single week, one of them.
wow, that's
Yes,
great.
and she's from Flint. She's a Flintstonian. Yes.
Wow.
So she had to call in. Yes. What happened?
That's where the bad water is.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It just caught you there. You just caught it.
Yeah, I thought
But she
about
moved out here now, though.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she out here.
Okay, that's
She
good.
got good. Not that our water's any better, but
So-
she at least got a filter on it.
It's a little better.
We can ready to get close to closing, man. I got one question for you. If you could do anything or change anything, what would it be?
Well, am I allowed to say what I'm going to say?
Yeah, go ahead.
We don't have any regulations on this show.
Good. Don't vote for Trump.
And this message is approved by We
That-
Love
that-
Rare Groups.
Approve.
So what you saying? If you could do anything different or change something, so you doing something different. So that don't mean you voted for Trump. So you change it now to do something different. I'm just checking for understanding.
What?
Well, he's talking a lot of stuff.
That's
Right,
the
yeah,
business,
right. You got that one.
All right.
What do you hope that people take away from this book? What do you hope the readers take away from this book?
Well, let me
Especially
tell
young
you
musicians
something.
coming up.
I hope they take away and can get into the journey, because when we did this book, it was a journey, okay, and we're hopeful that enough people would read and understand it, and also give us feedback. Maybe it was something that they would have done differently. You know, because there's a lot of different things in the book, from the lawsuit to Motown,
Finish reading it.
to talking to Berry Gordy, and then him saying one thing and I meant another, and I'm looking at him and never correcting it and let him do what he wanted to do, and then I did what I wanted to do. The next thing you know, as Bonnie Ayler said, Muhammad wouldn't go to the mountain, and the mountain wouldn't come to Muhammad. And it was just kind of messy situation. Well, it never started off that way.
Right.
That was not my intent.
Right. You said other people got into the
yeah.
mix
Oh, yeah.
when you guys could have just went to each other and worked it out.
Well, let me just ask one last question about your years with Hot Wax and Invictus Records. What didn't you know that you should have known, or vice versa? I mean, just give me some enlightenment about going and owning your own company.
Oh, my goodness, man. First of all, the number one thing would be this. Capitol Records, when I made the deal with Capitol Records, I had no idea that they didn't know anything about how to market R&B product. A black product.
Right. That's a good one.
Okay. And they were trying to replace the Beatles because the Beatles were leaving Capitol Records. Okay?
Right. Leaving that money.
They were leaving. So they wanted something that could replace 30%. And looking at the lawsuit that Motown had with Holland-Dozier-Holland, and they saw that I was A&R director, they said, well, let's get that Eddie Holland guy. We could probably do it because he was developing a lot of that, the way they look at it, So, and they weren't able to do it. And I had to spend like $250,000 every year, should have done it, but I had to do it to survive. Then, when I made up in my mind, I said, wow, I got to leave this company, okay? Clyde Davis wanted me at Columbia Records at that time. Clyde Davis would have been the answer to all of it, okay?
Right.
Clyde Davis, he understood it. He understood how to market black product. He was into marketing black product. He wanted to market black product. We met. He flew in Detroit, and I came to New York, and he said, look, Ed, he said, I know you're always incommunicado, so to speak. He said, one thing I want you to do is when I call you, you will respond. You will call me back. He said, and you will communicate with me. I told him, I said, I'll do that. He was gone in about a week after I had left Capitol Records. Went with Columbia. He left. We were in a lurch then. Wow. If he would have been there when I got there and stayed, it would have been a whole different ball game. Totally different ball game. So hey, it's one of those things.
Now, was it on Warren, or maybe Van Dyke, or maybe it was DeQuinder right at Lumpkin? The magic, where did it live? Coney Gardens, the North End, Inkster, or the West Side? Possibly Woodward Avenue. It might have been Persian High School, Cass Tech, or Central High. One can discuss all day where the magic truly lived, whether it was off Davison or the Brewster Projects. But one can never deny the location where the hits of America lived, and that was 6948 West Grand Boulevard in Detroit, Michigan. When young boys were dodging the draft or headed to Vietnam, when young ladies were headed to prom or having their coming out parties, the Holland brothers were shaping the very soundtrack of America. Those just becoming adults were taking jobs at the Big Three, General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler, getting married and starting families. The hippie movement was in full swing, and Edward and Brian Holland had 14 songs on Top 100 and 7 on the Top 40. You see, when others were planting their flags in the very heart of the 5th largest city in America, the Holland brothers were planting their flags in the hearts and memories of America. That was my takeaway from the book. I think it is a fantastic read. And for those of you who are from Detroit or know anything about Detroit, it will take you down memory lane if you are from that era for baby boomers. There are a lot of wonderful takeaways from this book. It is decent. I have not read a book this good in a long time, and I'm not saying that just because I know them. I'm saying that because it's true. And so if you want to know the truth about their experience at Motown or the truth about Edward and Brian Holland, look no further than Come and Get These Memories.
Bam!
Bam. She put that together.
Hey, man, we need something with that. We need a little sound effect.
Something right there.
Yeah.
So I had to go bam.
Hey.
So that was a little sticky that I wrote last night when I was thinking about you all. And, you know, I always talk about I've known them since I was a young girl. And when I was coming up, I had no idea who they were. You know, I went to music school all my life, and my friends would say, I cannot believe that you know them and that you see them every day at the office. Like, what do you mean? But that was our life, you know, and Randy Crawford would come by, and all these people, these great people would show up, and I had no idea till I got older who they really were until we started reading the soundtrack, and you would see their name on every single movie that came out. Movies that were now, movies that were then. There was always a Holland-Dozier song in every soundtrack. And so I must say that every day I'm amazed by them. But this book, if you don't know you know who they are. You do already know who they are because you're listening to their music all the time. But if you really want to know who they are, their influences from their grandma Ola, their Uncle James, just everything, love, life, hurt, pain, sorrow, pick up, come and get these memories. I cannot say enough about this book.
Bam.
Right.
I could blabber forever, but that's all I have.
So we're getting ready to close out. We got about 5 more minutes.
That's
here.
a quality infomercial right there.
No, but that's what they came on to do.
But wait.
Hey, right.
But
wait. There's more. There's more.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
There's more. But as we do, we gotta do our Dusty of the Week real quick because we got.
While we're doing the Dusty, we want to remind them we gave you a little present last time. I hope y'all still have it. I hope y'all didn't let it be paperweight. But we have a little something for you for coming back on. This is for our second-time visitors who come on. This one's for you. Yeah, well, you get another one. This is for you. And there's another one for you. We want you to always know how much we appreciate you taking your time.
We be loving you.
Well, the rappers are doing it, so you know.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is wow. Can we come on some more time?
I got one more. We got one more. We got one more for you. We got one more. You get 3. If you come on 4 times, that's it. But the third time, we got something else for you.
But we want you to know for sure how much we really appreciate this.
We be loving you, okay?
Listen, guys, you know what?
Go ahead, give us a. Y'all gave us a great one last time.
I really appreciate that. I really
Talking to the microphone, they can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I really appreciate this, and I must admit, this has been an exciting evening for me.
It has.
Wonderful.
And you guys are so damn dynamic. I mean, I'm constantly watching which person says what. Oh, man.
And
Shantini, she just took it over the edge.
Damn.
There you go. There you go.
I didn't even know she was talking about Brian and I for a minute. I said, dang.
Who's that?
She laid it out. Wow. I'm impressed.
I am too.
I got to go and read the book myself now.
Yeah.
Man, that was
Well,
great.
I really want to truly thank you all for this, though. This is
Talking to the mic, man. They got to hear you.
Oh, this is a very
Thank
great present.
Right.
You know, because I would this will live with me forever. Believe me.
But the important thing, you guys put on a really interesting
right.
show.
Thank you.
You entertained the hell out of me. You really did. And I needed that.
There you go.
So thank you so much, man.
thank
It's
you
an
all.
honor to have you guys.
Okay.
Hey, we're
I
not
would love to
finished.
see them on some shows, and some talent shows. You know, it would really
Right.
be nice
Yeah.
to see them on The Voice or just shows like that because they really
need to
have.
be
the-
on. Right.
Surely gonna make it happen.
Yeah,
Surely gonna make it
because
happen.
y'all need to. Yeah, seriously, because they know what they have the
Don't get
history
Big
to
Red.
back it up.
Don't
now.
get Big Red in the middle of it.
God.
Especially
Big Red's his imaginary person.
But they
That's my sausage
the main thing is that they're alive. They mind is right. They can't communicate. Doggone.
And they got hits.
And they got hits.
Hits
And
on top of hits.
Right, hits on top of hits. They can communicate with us and everything else. Get them right now.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
Now
folks, come on.
We got a couple things we gotta do. We gotta do Sweet Events SoCal. They got a new digital magazine out, Sweet Life Digital
Which we are
Magazine.
featured in.
We are featured in it. I thought I had a copy somewhere
gave it
around
to
there.
Shirley, but I
We
don't know
did
how
the
to
copy of it.
Somebody
We
took
always
that
out
book.
there somewhere. I
But
don't
it's
know.
a digital. Go online to Sweet Life SoCal, and you can download the digital magazine that they have, or come out this Wednesday, as we'll be at the Peacock Lounge of Harold and Bells for our first We Love Rare Grooves Vibe Wednesday or Wednesday Vibe. DJ Reg, you got the schedule.
Yeah.
We're celebrating it with the J15, right?
That's right.
AKAs, right?
AKAs, yeah.
Ask-
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
today is their Founders Day. Happy
Founders-
anniversary.
No,
the Deltas. I'm
Brother.
sorry, I
No,
knew somebody's.
AKAs is Wednesday. We got to do what we're doing.
Oh, okay. I'm
we're
sorry.
doing
I knew the Deltas
and
was today.
also Magic Mike Heath. So we're putting it together for you with the music, happy hour, food from Harold and Bells, free admission, good times. Come join us as We Love
Please
Red
do.
Grooves, giving you the
Jimmy
music.
G.
As we do now.
Jimmy
we
G
have
gonna
to
be
do-
there?
Yes, he is.
He's driving?
I
Jimmy
heard.
G is
Okay.
always there. I'm coming back with Jimmy G. I'm coming back with the script. Don't worry. But right now, we got to close out. I got to do the song for Lisa Minute, our Dusty of the Week, right? Our Dusty of the Week brought to you by Sweet Events.
Yeah.
SoCal. Get your digital media today, their magazine, and they'll be there Wednesday with us. So what is the Dusty of the Week?
I have no idea.
It's the chairman of the board. You got me dangling.
Chairman of the board.
You got me dangling on the string. Y'all wrote that one.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Just give.
Got me dangling on a string. Please don't let me drop. My life was surely stopped. 'Cause I'm wrapped in a dream of needing you so. My heart's in a noose and I can't break loose. I'm not half the man that I used to be. And I admit it, your love has become a habit to me. And I can't quit it. Won't you take this half a man and make this man whole again? You got me dangling on a string. Please don't let me drop. 'Cause everything I've got is wrapped in a dream. Needing you so. The feeling is strong and I can't let go. Every time I phone, your number's changed or disconnected. You have made my life a book of games. I feel so rejected. Girl, you got the best of me now. Come and take the rest of me. 'Cause you got me dangling on a string. Please don't let me drop. You're everything I've got.
As we close up with Holland-Dozier-Holland, genius of Holland-Dozier-Holland.
Genius.
Motown Incomparable Songwriters. And also
Give them
tonight,
roses
man.
while they still
Hey, we
good.
want to take care of my man here. Satin Touch Transportation, or Satin Touch Production and Transportation. When you're looking for the best in full service transportation, look no further than Satin Touch. Satin Touch is a full service transportation company that has been in business for over 36 years and continue to give
Sure
you
not
the
36
best-
minutes?
the best service in the business. Call today, 323-345-2845, or visit their website, satintouchproduction.com. They have a full-service transportation fleet of exotic vehicles, Escalades, SUVs, passenger, party buses, and they are fully equipped with stretch options. Call them today. That's 323-348-2845. Satin Touch Transportation and Production, where elegance and class meets. And now, last but not least, hey man, Bootsy.
I just want to know, is Eddie Holland still giving out Rolls Royces? That's what I want to know. Because, you know, he was giving out Rolls Royces back in the day. I just want to know. I'm just asking, you know.
Hold on. We got tickets for Saturday.
Oh, we do?
Yeah,
I was just trying to get us a Rolls Royce to get to the place on Saturday because he was giving out
not
Rolls
Saturday.
Royces back in the day.
No, we got tickets for not Saturday.
For what?
Sunday.
What's Sunday?
Bootsy.
Oh, I thought you was asking for the numbers.
Yabba
dabba do,
Bernard
baby.
Purdy, James Gatson, and Fred Wesley.
Yabba
That's
dabba
right, in the
do.
house.
James Gatson has been on this show.
Oh, you kidding?
So these are the funk legends featured by L.A. Wisdom Dome. They are really putting on a great concert. It's starting at 4 p.m. Okay, 4 p.m. This Sunday. You got the flyer up there on it. Call them, get your tickets, go on the website today. The Funk Legends. Bootsy's emceeing. I just want y'all to know Bootsy is just emceeing. Because sometime I went to an event and I thought he was
I heard he
playing.
retired from
Right,
from
but
performing,
he could still carry a party, just like George
Yeah.
Clinton. But
Got the cane and everything?
But Fred Leslie and James Gatson and Bernard Purdy, those guys are going to be live, putting the music down here. And we're going to be partnering with them with the Funk Legends of Wisdom coming up more in the future. So get your tickets for that today. We'll have some tickets to give away. We'll be promoting it on our We Love Rare Grooves group. So we're overtime as usual here on We Love Rare Grooves.
But we got the Holland brothers. We supposed to be overtime.
Yes.
Okay.
They deserve it.
Come and get these memories, y'all.
Got to get those books.
Come and
That's
get
what
these memories.
come
Get the book. Because I'm trying to get a Rolls Royce. Because, I'm telling y'all, he was giving away Rolls Royces out. Y'all think I'm lying,
that was when I wasn't in my right mind.
Nice and young, huh?
I'm trying to get one, now.
All right, get your tickets. Don't forget about Michael Henderson. Get your tickets.
You was real wrong.
Thank you, Beverly Boys.
Brian said I got to take my headphones off on that.
I'm right mind then.
Drove
I'm old and know better now.
Sweet
Events.
Life, so-called Sweet Events.
Yes, follow us on iHeartRadio, YouTube, Apple Music Podcast. All of the show will be replayed in its entirety. So if you missed it tonight, you can catch it again.
So we're going to take some pictures.
Yeah, we're going to take some pictures, and then we're going to be out of here and let these gentlemen get home.
Y'all coming back again, man?
Oh, yeah.
They trying to get that next present.
Hey, I need that Rolls Royce.
Right, that's what I'm trying to get. I asked first.
I'll take the Bentley.
Join us next week. Same time, same groove channel on We Love Red Group.
Yabba dabba doo.